Well, a right-wing militia group calls off a protest against Congresswoman Maxine Waters in South LA when many of her supporters showed up instead. It was a showdown that never happened. A militia group called for a protest in South LA against Representative Maxine Waters.
But by the time it was supposed to start, only Waters supporters showed up.
And CBS 2's Dave Lopez is live in South LA, where police were on standby just in case of confrontations. Dave?
Well, there were a number of police officers here just in case, as you said, Pat. Across the street, the field office where that one lone man who has not gone home from the protest. He's the only one left. That's the field office of Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who wasn't here today. Her offices were locked shut. No one was in there. She's in Washington. We did not get a response when we requested one. And it was a confrontation that many people expected, some wanted, but the opposition never showed. Supporters of Congresswoman Maxine Waters were ready. Some carried protection, just in case.
She is Queen of Los Angeles. If you don't believe me, ask anybody out.
You're not going to intimidate our Queen Maxine.
And on social media, a group called Oath Keepers had vowed to go to her office in South Los Angeles to protest. Protest what they called her far-left terrorist violence and threats of violence, based on what she said a few weeks ago.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Outside her field office today at 102nd and Broadway, a strong presence of the LAPD, and nerves were on edge. And just before 1, people supporting Maxine Waters thought they spotted Oath Keepers arriving across the street.
That's not them. That's not them.
It wasn't the Oath Keepers, but a different group coming to support Maxine Waters. A short time after that, the group was told by the LAPD that the Oath Keepers had called the LAPD and said, "We're not coming."
We don't know if it's a trick, but they said they're not coming.
Before 2 o'clock, the LAPD left. The crowd didn't.
You think there would have been problems?
I think so. Did you expect them to show?
Yeah, I wanted them to show.
Even if they would have come, there would have been 5 of them.
No, it is what it is. We still out here.
An icon in South LA, Sweet Alice.
We're not out here to hate and fight. We're out here to show Maxine Waters we love her, but not to do nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
But just after 2, some in the group took the American flag and burned it. There were no arrests, no real confrontation other than that one about the flag. The LAPD came back for a while as just to monitor the situation. And again, Maxine Waters was not in her office. We asked for a response from Washington, never got one. As far as the group goes that was supposed to come here and protest, on their website they said that they were expecting anywhere from 100 to 150 of them and to please be here, and they would protest for several hours. Never happened. Reporting live from outside the district of Maxine Waters here in South LA. I'm Dave Lopez, CBS 2 News.
I love LA, straight up. Gangster. Man, I've been trying to get on this thing to do this video for a while. I just kind of got caught up in other stuff yesterday. But I dig LA. I love being an LA native too. And this shows why I love LA so much. These cats were out there, man. They were deep. They weren't playing when these damn Oath Keepers were trying to show up. That's the thing about these freaking maggot supremacists, dude. Like, they're very cowardice when they think that they have an edge on someone, but yet when you're in an area where you don't think that people are organized, and also that have had a history of fighting oppression, you got another thing coming. This comes from the Daily Breeze. I'm going to also probably be showing some pictures too. So I'm going to read some of this. At Maxine Waters' LA office, defenders were in place, but protesters were a no-show. Los Angeles, amidst the controversy over comments by a Rep. Maxine Waters, a militant group, Oath Keepers, scheduled a protest at the Democrats' Los Angeles District Office Thursday afternoon, only to apparently agree to call it off after police expressed fears of clashes with counter demonstrators. Yeah, get the freak out of there. Yeah, get the hell out of there. Dozens of water supporters, led by people waving signs, chanting into bullhorns, showed up well before 1 p.m. stated start time for the protest by the group. Shortly before 1, police who had been watching over the scene at South Broadway on 102nd Street began spreading the word that the Oath Keepers weren't coming. Oh, brother, I got a comment about that. The LAPD Sergeant Childress said police and the Oath Keeper leaders spoke and decided to find a different avenue to express themselves. I'm sure they did. Childress, who wouldn't give his first name, said police wanted to make sure that this remained peaceful. The Oath Keepers are a militia group. How the hell could that be peaceful? Please, they were going to antagonize or try to antagonize Miss Waters. But you got to keep in mind, they don't know LA like that. You know? And Tariq, if you guys listen to his live stream on that, he mentioned some things about LA that those who live here, we know. That element of LA that it still is not playing with people like the Oath Keepers. Even with all the things that element is known for, it's still not playing with these maggot supremacists. I kid you not. You know, as of 1:30, the only hint of trouble had been shouting between counter-protesters and a man who showed up late, possibly believing the Oath Keepers protest was still on. He got surprised, I'm sure. The man was followed by some members of the crowd as he walked to his car and left without the incident getting physical. It was unclear who he was, and I'm sure he wants to remain anonymous. Yeah, they escorted his ass out. So, no, you need to leave. Arthur Schapper, a member of LA County for Trump, said he was planning to take part in the protest alongside the Oath Keepers and other groups, but police told them to stay away, given the number of counter-protesters who amassed outside of Waters' office. He said received reports that opposition had arrived with pipes, bats, threatening violence. Self-defense, that's what I'm going to say that is. One of the police officers at the local LAPD substation advised us not to attend for our own safety, but and the safety of the police officers. Media footage from the scene showed some counter-protesters confronting two men who drove through the area in a pickup truck waving an American flag. Oh yeah, they drove. Imagine them trying to walk through there. They wouldn't do it without police. I know they wouldn't. The flag was taken away from them who drove off. Later, the footage showed a small group of people burning the flag and dancing around it in a circle. The 9-year-old Oath Keepers calls itself a non-partisan association of current and formerly serving military, police, and first responders who pledge to defend the Constitution against all enemies, and foreign and domestic. No, they're terrorists. The civil rights organization Southern Poverty Law calls the Oath Keepers an anti-government group who believes in the valid set of conspiracy theories. The Oath Keepers announced on their website Tuesday that members would hold a protest Thursday against Maxine Waters' incitement of terrorism. These guys are the ones that are the terrorists, white supremacist terrorists at that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt myself. And stand for ICE and the Border Patrol. These seem to be references that Waters' speech at an LA rally in June calling for people to push back on Trump administration officials they see in public and tell them that they're not welcome anymore anywhere. If you guys want to, I'm going to post the rest of this. I'm going to post this article. You could read the rest of this, but I want to show some pictures. LA, come on, rock the house. Come on and turn the party out. Ha ha. I love LA. Yes, I love LA, man. I love being from LA, LA County. Represent. Yes, LA held it down. Those Oath Keepers, who the heck do they think that they are? Oh, yeah, they think LA is just degenerate because of all the negative news that they hear. But I'll tell you this, even the so-called degenerate people that you think are degenerate will come together and organize and keep white supremacist scum out like you. Dumb Oath Keepers. Who do they think that they are? I mean, seriously, dude, you guys have to see the reason that LA turned out the way that they did. Look at these guys. Look at this. Look at this terrorist group. I mean, shoot. They've come out in the past doing things like this in the streets, protesting or whatever they call it, you know? They're just as bad as these militia groups like the Algiers militias, the ones that were shooting people during Hurricane Katrina. This is straight up terrorism. Just look at how they are, man. This is at some other event that they got guns and fatigues and all that stuff. The Panthers couldn't get away with that. They made laws when they seen the Panthers march up there with guns. But these guys get to walk with guns and cops by their side. But LA held it down. Shout out to LA. Man, I'm so proud of LA natives, man. Especially, man, black folks in LA and South Central who always had the negative press, you know, when it came to LA. In order to stop scum like this guy, you see that? This probably wasn't at the LA thing, but this is what these Oath Keepers are. That's what they do. They march out there like that. LA was not having it. They weren't having it at all. No. And as I read in the caption, this is the incident where this guy just thought he could just drive up with the American flag with his fake patriotism and just try to just hurl his Fox News BS out. And they let him know, they put him on notice, you need to get the hell out of here. They put him on notice, from what I understand. I guess this was his flag. Well, that's our flag, but this was his flag. They took that and burned the hell out of it. He didn't deserve it anyway. Not that I'm a flag person, at least not this flag, but this is the result of what, you know, these demons have done. They pretty much represent the flag in their bigoted ways. So, hey, this is the response to that. And keep in mind, LA has been known for protesting this kind of racism too. Because look, a lot of our black people in LA were marginalized and set in certain areas in LA. These same areas that they're trying to gentrify now. You know, the same areas that were known for a lot of elements of, so, you know, like all these criminal activity or whatever. But they don't even realize what the history that LA has and the oppression that a lot of black LA has been through, let alone to even cause that. So, you know, sorry, let alone to even cause that criminal activity and oppression. So keep in mind, LA uprised before too. What makes these oath keepers think that they could just come down here and just walk around? And from what I heard, that a lot of them didn't show, and the ones that did were ran the hell off, and they should have been. Funny thing, right? Very funny to me. Very, very funny to me. These are the same idiots that will call blacks criminals and talk about all this stuff, but yet, and talk all this hogwash and how superior they are and how inferior we are. But yet they couldn't come down here without cops. We know how these devils are. I really admire LA. I take my hat off to, LA. This is where I'm from. And it's so cool to see a lot of brothers and sisters come together like that. Especially just to let them know, hey, you can't come down here like that. And a lot of people talk stuff about Maxine Waters. I've been hearing a lot of people say a lot of negative stuff about her, but she's done a lot of positive in the community. I said things in my previous videos about her and her positive things that she's done. Granted, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that she represents, but I'll tell you this, she's done a lot for our community. Think about it. Even one of the first people when it wasn't popular or any thing to say about police brutality, and also about like a lot of police corruption and drugs that law enforcement brought in the community and did the evil things that they did. Maxine Waters was one of the first to come out about that. Let alone the things that she's done as far as like put up opportunities of not only employment but also businesses for black people. I mean, having a school to get you started off in a career. That says a whole lot to me. And I've been to that center in Watts. So anyone and everyone talking about Maxine Waters negatively, you know what? I'm speaking mainly to black people. You might have your say, but I'll tell you this. You cannot discount the positive things that woman has done, to the point where you see women, you see all kinds of people caping for her, man. Especially black people, like that lady said in the caption. I might not speak well on this, but I'll tell you this. She's done a lot for our communities in LA, man. I don't care what anyone says. But enough respect to LA. This is my city. Massive shout out to all the LA natives in South Central. South LA, as they call it now. Black LA is not taking any of that crap. Oath keepers, stay the freak out. If you don't come with respect, don't come at all, because you don't come in respect. You're the same idiots that tout your conspiracy theories and all your pro-Trump BS. You could easily carry a gun and have the cops escort you. We can't. And I'll tell you this. Terrorist groups like the Oath Keepers need to be held at bay. Shout out to the community in LA, South Central. Shoot, should I even name them all? South Central, all of that, even Compton, Watts, of course, Long Beach, Carson. That's more towards the harbor area, but it's still South LA County. Man, I could talk all day. Inglewood. Anyways, you guys, peace. I'll talk to you later.